Okay, good afternoon everybody. And here is another exciting adventure from Blue Line RV Adventures of DIY, do-it-yourself, how to unclog an RV toilet. So I'm sitting here on my throne in my bathroom. We have two bathrooms in the RV. We have the Phil bathroom and the Karen bathroom. So as I'm sitting here in my bathroom, I'm discussing this because this is the most appropriate room to discuss this subject in, clogged toilets. If you own an RV, eventually you're probably going to have, I shouldn't say eventually, probably, you are going to have a clogged toilet. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable. It may happen shortly after you buy it, may happen maybe a year or two after you buy it, but eventually you are going to have a clogged toilet. And if you think that you're going to take a plunger and you're going to put it over the, you're going to stick it in there and you're just going to push that up and down and unclog your toilet, that's not going to happen. The plumbing systems, obviously, in RVs are different than they are for regular sticks and bricks or household home. So we're going to make a short video here today on how to unclog your toilet. And the reason why we're doing it is because I've had to unclog a toilet twice now, and they've both been in my bathrooms. Without getting into too much information, we'll discuss that in a little bit. Why? No, it didn't have anything to do with me. It has to do with the makeup of the toilet, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But hopefully at the end of the video you'll get something out of this, and you'll learn something like I did. Okay, our RV, our rig, which again, if you've seen our previous videos, you know that we affectionately refer to her as Matilda. We have two different types of toilets, commodes, whatever you want to call them, in our RV because we have two bathrooms. This is obviously my bathroom, and I'm going to show you Karen's here in a minute. Both toilets are different. They operate differently, and they function differently. I don't know if there's a specific type of toilet this is called. Maybe it's just called a gravity flow toilet. I'm not quite sure, but it's made by a company called Thetford, T-H-E-T-F-O-R-D, Thetford, and they also make the other one. As far as I can tell, it's a pretty good brand toilet. But let me show you initially how mine operates and functions, then I'll show you how Karen's operates and functions, and then I'll show you if they get unclogged what to do. And again, before we go too far, I just want to make sure we're totally clear. We're not going to be talking about composting toilets if they get clogged. And I'm not even sure if a composting toilet can even get clogged. So if you've got some kind of an issue going with your composting toilet and you are watching this video, turn it off and find another video on YouTube, because we're not going to be talking about composting toilets in this video. Okay, so again, we have two different kind of toilets. We're going to refer to this as a gravity type toilet. I don't know if it's really called that or not, but it makes sense to me because it kind of works off gravity. So I'm going to show you how this works real fast. You obviously lift it up, and you only have just a little bit of water. Obviously, I'm not going to stick my hand down in there and touch it, but there's a little bit of water down at the bottom, and there's basically a seal over it with a rubber gasket on the side. The little bit of water in there is probably only maybe an inch or so deep. That is to prevent odor from coming up. As I understand it, is to prevent odor from coming up, and it works pretty good. I mean, the bathrooms aren't the best smelling thing in an RV, but this one's pretty good. And the rubber gasket, you need to keep that moist all the time. Try to keep some water in there so it doesn't crack or fade out. But this toilet can clog, and we're going to discuss that here in just a minute. But how this functions is, once you take care of your business, you are going to step on this foot pad right here. Sometimes there are handles, but this has got a foot pad. You're going to step on it. That's going to open up. Water is going to go down. You're going to see a ring of other water will also flow out. It's designed to wash any excrement or anything else you don't want in your toilet down into the black tank. Just like that. You can see the water going on there, and it's washing down into the black tank. If you get anything that's not quite going down there, then you've got this little faucet right here. And when you activate that, you push the pedal again, and then you pour it, and the water comes out. Now, some people might think, oh my gosh, that's kind of gross, but you know, that's the way it is in an RV toilet. The other type of toilet we have in Matilda is referred to as a macerating toilet. It is also made by Thetford. And this is what I would describe as a much more traditional type of toilet or commode that you're going to find in your RV. As you lift this up, this is all made out of porcelain, just like the other one, you're going to see a lot more water in there. It looks like a regular toilet, something, again, you might find in your regular house. It looks like a regular toilet, but it operates differently. How you operate this, if you notice, there are no foot pedals. There are buttons. One button is used for a smaller type of flush, like maybe just liquid waste. More solid waste, you're going to want to hit the larger button. There is a green button right here. This will turn a variation of different colors and it's going to tell you different things. Green means you're good to go. Yellow or amber means that your black tank is at least halfway full. It could even be maybe as much as 3/4 full, but it's getting full. The toilet will still operate, but it means it is getting, very full, and you should probably consider dumping it. If it turns red, that's telling you that your black tank is either full or extremely close to be full. I would not even attempt to flush the toilet with that being red, because you're going to have a disaster and you don't want to do that. So how the toilet operates, let's say you want to flush it, you're going to go push your green button here. You're going to push it one time. It's actually going to fill up with water. Water is going to go into the commode. You get more water into it. In just a second, it's going to flush out. In just a second. In just a second. We're all holding our breath. Here we go. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so where do my unclogged, clogging toilets in the RV stories come from? Where do they originate from? We weren't in Matilda 6 weeks when we had an issue with my toilet. And of course, you're going to see I've got gloves on here because I'm going to be touching something that we should basically be careful in what we touch. You can kind of read between the lines on that. So I woke up one morning and I came out to my toilet, the gravity-fed toilet, and I was taking care of some business, and I noticed in the morning that it was not flushing. I mean, the little flapper opened up, water was going down, but it was not draining. In fact, it was coming up. And my first thought was the black tanks were full. I need to go out and empty the black tanks because the black tanks are so full, we're starting to get sewer water start coming back in the toilet. So I went out, I dumped the black tanks, and you should do that. If you've got a clogged toilet, that's one of the things you should do is to make sure your black tanks are empty. So I emptied the black tank, it came back out, flushed it, and it still came back up again. What do you do? Well, at that point, because I'm Phil Roberts and I'm not a plumber, I jumped onto YouTube and I started looking at various YouTube channels on how to unclog your toilet, different things and procedures you can use. I am not telling you that what I'm going to teach you today is the best way out there. There are some people that use the hot water method. There are other people that use a chemical method or a soap method. There's other devices and tools that are out there. I'm just telling you this is what works for us. It's worked for us, and it worked out very successfully, so that's why we're going to kind of recommend it to you. But again, we're not saying that this is the end-all conversation on unclogging toilets. So as I was going through my YouTube videos, there are some YouTube videos out there that I'm not going to mention who, but there's some YouTube videos out there that are incorrect. And let me discuss the first one. So I'm going to try to describe to you the guts or the inner working of an RV toilet without being a plumber, a complete novice. And if there's anyone out there who wants to leave me a comment saying that's not exactly how it is, Phil, that's totally fine. Like I said, I'm very receptive to being re-educated or to learning, but this is the way how I understand it. So you've got your toilet over here, and I'm probably going to be an abomination on this sketch of this toilet, so I'm actually going to turn this off, and I'll turn it back on in a second. Okay, this is my butchered attempt at drawing and being an artist, because I'm not an artist. But let's just assume that this is your toilet up here. The first video I saw at 6 o'clock in the morning showing me on how to unclog my tank, the gentleman that was on the video, he said that basically from your toilet into your black tank, it's going to go through this PVC pipe, which is these dotted lines here. It's going to go through there. It's a straight shot into your black tank. And then he added that all RVs are made this way. That is not true. I could have caused some serious damage to my RV. I did not do that, thank goodness, but that is not true. There may be some RVs that are like this, but not mine, not in Matilda. And from the subsequent research I've done, I found out that most RVs are not like this. So if you got your toilet, even though it's all dark in here, if you end up putting a flashlight from the top and looking down, you'll see that it's not like that. It does not go straight into your black tank. So this is really how most toilets are in RVs. Most of them are. You've got your toilet here. Instead of being a straight shot into your black tank, it angles off, maybe at again 30-degree angle, not quite sure, but it angles off into your black tank. So if you're putting in a broom handle or something like that straight down, you are going to hit your PVC pipe, and if you keep pushing, you're gonna break that and you're gonna have a big issue. So don't do that. So that was a dilemma I was having. I was here looking at YouTube videos at 6 o'clock in the morning and still half asleep and had not had my first cup of coffee yet. And some of the YouTube videos I found out later on were accurate and some of them were not accurate. And unfortunately, the one I was looking at 6 a.m., the first one I saw and really kind of locked onto, was not accurate. That gentleman was describing the toilet, the gravity-fed toilet, as a tube going straight down into the black tank of the RV, and in fact he was saying that all the RV toilets are that way. So I kind of believed him at face value, and finding out later on that that is not true, that not all the RV toilets are that way. So that's what I believed. So the first thing I did, and this is very important, step number one, after you realize you got a clog and you've emptied your black tank, step number one, go out and shut the water off to your RV. If you're dry camping, shut your water pump off. If you're hooked up to an RV resort water, that like Karen and I are, shut your water off, because every time you push that foot pedal down, more water is going in, and your tank's gonna get more and more higher, and eventually if you keep doing it, it's gonna roll over your toilet. You don't wanna do that. That was the first thing I did. Second thing I did, just in case I had a little bit of water slosh around and everything like that, I did get a bucket. So I brought the bucket out. I had it here, got my gloves on, and then I did something that you should not do. I grabbed an old broom handle, because again, I thought this was a tube that went straight down, and I thought I could just kind of force down whatever it was that was clogging it, and it would get into the black tank. So I took the tissue paper or whatever it might have been. So I took the the broom handle, and I started sticking it down gingerly, and I started hitting some what sounded like hard plastic, hard PVC pipe. And I thought, why is this going on? Because I just saw a YouTube video where it says it's supposed to go straight down. I'm putting the broom handle straight down, and I'm hitting something hard. Thank goodness I didn't start pounding, because I would have ended up breaking the PVC pipe that was there. And because not all toilets go straight down. There may be some there. The gentleman that did that YouTube video may be correct, but he's incorrect when he says all the toilets, the PVC pipe goes straight down. It does not. And in my case, it angles about, maybe not a 45-degree angle, but maybe a 30-degree angle or something like that. It angles down into the black tank. Why it angles down, I don't know. That whoever designed black tanks does it, but it angles down. I found out that a lot of RV toilets do that. So then I started watching other YouTube videos. One gentleman brought up an idea that he described. He was up in the Dakotas, I think, in near the oil wells that are going out there, and he described, I think it was the winter time, and it was like 10 below zero or something, and snow, and his toilet got clogged up. He was one of the workmen there at the oil fields, and he couldn't unclog his toilet. He took the end of a fishing pole.
What?
Because the fishing pole bends a little bit, and he was kind of able to work it down there, get the fishing pole bent down there, and he was able to unclog whatever it was. I'm not advocating the fishing pole theory. If you guys want to use that, more power to you. Worked for him. I'm not going to use the fishing pole method. What I am going to advise, though, or discuss, is what I did end up doing, and it worked out great, was I went to Camping World, and I went to the young lady there. It's actually called Gander Camping World in Mesa, Arizona. And I said, hey, I've got this problem, and I thought I'm going to have to call a plumber. And is there any suggestions or thoughts? Because Karen and I did try to put in the hot water method, the soap method, things like that to try to break it up. Don't put Drano down in your system, though. That's a no-no. That's a very, very harsh chemical and can damage your RV, so don't put Drano down. But we did put like Dawn dishwashing detergent, hot water, things like that. And other than continuing to fill up the bowl in my toilet, it didn't do anything. So I went to Gander Gander Camping World in Mesa, and I said, hey, you guys have a suggestion? And the young lady there said, yes, I got just the thing for you. And it is the Valterra, Valterra, the Valterra water wand. And this thing works great. It is completely clean. I have washed the heck out of this thing, but I am still going to use orange gloves for this demonstration, because you never know what creepy residue bacteria may still be on there. So I would suggest that even though if you're going to buy something like this and you're going to wash it, make sure that you're still wearing gloves, because it's just a healthy thing to do. Okay, so this is your water wand, and again, I'm wearing gloves because you just don't know how much bacteria or anything's going to be on here, so you just want to keep yourself clean. So I went out and I got my Valterra water wand, and it's super easy to hook up. First off, what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your green hose. If you remember from an earlier video, I've got my one hose that I use to provide fresh water for my RV. That is my 0G hose. I have a second El Cheapo green garden hose I use to flush out my black water tank, and if I need to wash the dogs or anything like that. Basically general overall household chores you might use for a hose. That's the one I use for unclogging your toilet. Again, don't use it's almost like common sense, but don't use the water that you're going to be drinking from to assist unclogging your toilet. Don't do that. So you're going to get your El Cheapo green hose, and you're going to screw it into the spigot. If you're in an RV park. If you're not in an RV park, some RVs, like mine does, they actually have a spigot at the kind of the water control station, where you dump your black tank and your gray tank and so forth. I actually have a water spigot there. Some RVs don't have that. If you don't have that, I'm not exactly sure what you're gonna do. You need to try to figure out some kind of a way to get water into your hose. If there's a way to do that in another RV, more power to you. But Matilda's pretty good. I can either use the spigot at the RV park, or Matilda herself has got a spigot. In either case, so you're gonna take your green hose, you're gonna hook it up to your spigot, and you are gonna run it all the way to where your bathroom is. You're going to open up your bathroom window, and you're going to put your hose through the bathroom window. Then you're going to take your water wand, and you're going to screw it on the end right here. Then you're going to take your other section here with the black tip, and you're going to stick that down into the toilet. I can tell you from experience that the water should go just about up to the yellow section here. And you may not think, because you got a pretty hefty clog, you may not think that's going to go all the way in, but it is. Just sticking this down in itself could potentially unclog the clog. It may not, but potentially it could. But what you do is you're going to put this all the way down, and then you're going to make sure that your on and off switch right here is put in the horizontal position to shut the water off. There's no water going through here yet because you haven't turned it on outside of the spigot, but you need to do that. If you go outside of the spigot and turn it on, and this is already on, and water starts flowing through here, the 5 or 10 or 15 seconds it's going to take you to go back into your rig into the bathroom, and it's still not unclogged, you're going to have a holy mess on the floor. So make sure that this is in the horizontal position. That's going to prevent water coming from your green hose to going through the system here. So you're going to put this in the horizontal position. You're going to go out, you're going to turn your water spigot on, then you're going to come back inside, you're going to make sure everything is good, and then you want to do it slowly or forcefully or however you want to do it. You're going to open up this nozzle. I would basically say, I would just open up all in one flush, because it only takes like a half a second to open this up. Just give it a good flush. You may initially get a little bit of the water may rise for a brief second or two, but it should all flush out just within a second or two. This thing works great. You're going to put this in, you're going to turn this on. The 2 times I've had to use it, it's going to flush right out. And then what I would do is I would actually let it keep going for a while, because this is going to, the water that comes out of here, this black end is going to make it come out as a high pressure type nozzle in multiple different directions, 360 degrees. And while that's going on, it's going to help clean out your black tank. So you might as well let it flow for a few minutes. It's not going to hurt anything. Let it flow in there, let the water come out, let it knock everything out, and let it get done. And then you'll go back out, shut this off. You're going to go back out, disconnect the hose, and put it away. Then you're going to take this out, and you're going to clean this really well. Again, I'm wearing gloves, but this has been to a place where no man has gone before.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
So that's going to be how you unclog your toilet in your RV in a gravity type system. If you do this and that it's still not working, you're probably going to have to call an RV repairman, because there may be something else going on down there that I'm not sure what it is. So you've got your water wand back in your garbage bag. That's what I carry. I carry it in a garbage bag because I carry this in the Bay of Matilda. And again, even though it's super clean and everything like that, it has been some places where you just don't want to talk about. And I wouldn't want this brushing up against who knows what inside the bay. So I always keep it inside of a plastic bag and put it inside Matilda. So before we start going into the other bathroom, the Macerator bathroom, just a little bit of toilet etiquette if you're going to be in an RV. I know that you guys all know this. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to tell you the incredibly obvious or anything like that, but if you're like me, or if you're contemplating buying an RV, you've never bought one before, you don't know this stuff. I mean, I always like to say, even Chuck Norris had a first day at karate school. Everybody's got a first day. So if you're going to go out there and you're going to buy an RV and you're talking about toilets and toilet paper and tissues and clogs and everything like that, just a little bit of etiquette. You cannot use regular toilet paper in your RV bathroom. You can't use the 2 and the 3 ply. What you need to get is you need to get special RV toilet paper, 1 ply. You need to get that because that's going to help your system not to get clogged up. The other thing is that there are some people out there that use, maybe a lot of people out there, that use these toiletry wipes. This is Cottonelle. There's other brands out there. It's basically like a moist towelette. Do not put that in your toilet. If you're going to have one of these in your RV to use for tender areas of your body, I get that. That has got to go into a garbage can next to your toilet. So do not put the moist wipes, the wet wipes in your toilet. Don't do that. And again, you're going to use specialized RV toilet paper to take care of business. A little bit more etiquette. Phil, you've had 2 clogs in your toilet. What the heck are you doing to your toilet? What are you doing to your toilet? What are you eating? No, it has nothing to do about that. When we live in our sticks and bricks home, when we came from our regular houses, we took care of our business, and we more likely than not used something like this, and we took care of ourselves, and we probably, how's the best way to describe this without being, without making people blush or myself blush? You basically wipe once or twice or 3 times, maybe twice, whatever, and then you flush, and then there may be some other substances there that are going into the toilet, and everything is fine when you are in a regular house, not in an RV. When you take care of your business in an RV toilet, when you first take care of it before you flush, wipe, or anything, you've got to flush. You've got to flush the toilet, make sure everything goes down. Then you're going to take your handy dandy toilet paper and you're going to proceed to use it. And you're going to use it 1 time, and then you're going to flush. And then if you need to use it a second time, you're going to use it a second time, put it in there, and flush. If you had to use it 3 times, or how many other times you need to take care of business, make sure everything's all clean, you're going to use it each individual time and then flush. Don't use it 1, 2, maybe even 3 times, put it all in the toilet, and then flush. What's going to happen is the paper is going to get clogged up. It's going to get clogged up in there because it's not a straight shot PVC pipe. It's going to go down at about a 30-degree angle, and it's more susceptible or more prone to get clogged up. So if you clog up your toilet, don't think, oh, I feel like such a dredge. I clogged up my toilet. That happens, and that's why I'm trying to tell people that if you own an RV, eventually it's going to happen. I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much when I said that. Okay, the infamous, or maybe famous, Macerator Toilet. This is Karen's toilet. Again, this is more like your regular type toilet. We've already gone through it before and everything like that. If this thing becomes clogged, do not put anything into the toilet. Don't put a water wand. Don't put a top of a fishing pole.
What?
Don't do anything in there. You are probably, more likely than not, going to have to call out an RV guy to look at the toilet, because inside the bowels of this toilet on the side is the macerator. There are blades in there. They're going to chop and cut everything, your debris in there, into a much more smaller type of substance to get it through your toilet system. Those blades, if it's not working, if it's not chopping that up, there's a serious issue in there, and you're going to have to call out a repairman. So if this toilet is not working, don't use it. There is one other thing that I want to say about the toilet before we leave this one alone. As we talked about before, the big one is the big button is for the more solid waste. The smaller button here on the left is more for like your liquid waste. But if you're going to be traveling in your RV, it's a travel day and you're going to be traveling in your RV and you've got one of these toilets, what you want to do is you want to push both of these At the same time, that is going to completely drain the tank. I'll take all the water out, and that way when you're driving down the road, it's not going to slosh and potentially slosh out over the side. I'll show you. Let's see if I can do this with while holding the camera and push this at the same time. Okay, that pushing both buttons, it's completely drained the toilet. There's no water in there, and you're good to go on a travel day, and the water's not going to slosh out or anything like that. So make sure you push both those buttons when you're going to travel. And then once you get to your destination, if you want to fill it back up, obviously, just push it one time, and it's going to fill back up. And it fills it back up. There you go. So again, as I sit here in my throne in my bathroom, it's kind of a sensitive subject. It could be potentially an embarrassing subject.
God, that bastard left the floater!
But if you are someone like me that's just starting off with an RV, you know, there's embarrassing subjects out there that you need to discuss when it comes to your RV. And going to the bathroom and taking care of waste and unclogging your toilet is one of those subjects. So I hope you learned something out of this. And if you ever have a problem at 6 o'clock in the morning like I did, you watch my video and maybe not some other videos, and don't take a broom handle and try to stick it down inside because you potentially cause damage to it. Go out to a nearest place to get your water wand.
God, that bastard left the floater!